Hi, Church. Pastor Jeff here with another Trinity check-in. A short one today, I think. Just a simple thing I want to say. I don't know how universal this is, but, pastors, we have a tendency to look for patterns that we see around us. So I don't know if this is widespread or not, but I have heard several people in the past 3 or 4 days talk about how they've been on social media too much, reading too much about world events that are going on, and that it's sending them into a dark place and into a doom spiral. And I know that feeling. I haven't talked about this too much, but I decided a while back not to use social media, at least Facebook and Instagram. So if you go, you won't see very much from me on there. And my wife would quickly chime in and talk about how much I'm on Reddit. But on Reddit, you can control very closely what you're seeing, at least more closely than that. But even with the social media that I do, I know there are times where I get sucked in, where I get a little bit too lost. And with the way things have been going in the world lately, with politics, with world events, there has been so much to cause those kinds of doom spirals. Now, I am not in the slightest saying that those things don't matter. But what I am saying is that it doesn't actually help them for us to get lost in a doom spiral. And I know that feeling my own self too, and it's difficult to avoid. Now, for me, it usually isn't the news. It was. Pre-COVID, I got lost in the news quite a bit, and I think COVID, I went so far down that I broke myself of the habit. For me, it's work stress. Trinity is a wonderful and beautiful church, but sometimes I get so busy with the administrative side of things and I worry about various parts of it, and that's where I tend to go into those kinds of spirals where not so much doom, I suppose, but I lose myself in the stress and lose track of what's going on. There is a verse in the Gospels, and I'm going to read here from Matthew's Gospels in a moment, something that Jesus said that is a verse that has challenged me my whole darn life. And I'm going to be honest with you, I still don't entirely know what to make of this verse. And if you ask me to really unpack it and answer your questions on it, I might not be able to. But in this case, I think it has something to say. So this is Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. Jesus speaking here. Come to me, all you who are struggling hard and carrying heavy loads, and I will give you rest. Put on my yoke and learn from me. I'm gentle and humble, and you will find rest for yourselves. My yoke is easy to bear, and my burden is light. Now, I've been in a place where I've faced medical problems in my own life and in my own world, and I will tell you, when you're a caregiver, the yoke is not easy and the burden is not light. There have been times where I have felt called to certain work. I'm a pastor, right? But I think it's true of all of us, or with certain phases of parenting where there's no way you can call the burden easy and the yoke light. And I don't know what Jesus means in those cases. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's something that I wrestle and struggle with, but I think it's a good bit of wrestling and I think it's a good bit of struggling. But here's what I think this means when it comes to getting lost in social media, in the news, in stress, or whatever it may happen to be for you. I think what this says in those cases is, if you find yourself overwhelmed by things you can't control, maybe you need to trust more of that to God. Maybe you need to trust more of that to Jesus. Maybe that's the moment when you need to step back and say, am I really carrying this because I'm called to? Or is there something else going on here? Because the burden that Jesus gives us is easy. The yoke is easy and the burden is light. Does that make sense? Now, I know I've got 3 fingers pointing back at myself. Like I said, I wrestle with it myself. I'm actually in a light period right now after after everything that happens with the church, with Christmas and with the administrative stuff that comes around it. Like, this is a surprisingly light week for me, and I'm glad for it. In fact, I cleaned my desk today, and I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't set my camera up here just because I was proud of myself for cleaning my desk. But I know the time will come soon where I get overwhelmed again. And if you're not feeling it now, well, all of us are going to feel it sooner or later. And when that time comes, I hope you will remember to trust that burden to God as much as you can. And maybe it's just a little. Maybe it's so hard to let go of that it's a process you need to work on. But know that God is there. Know that God helps us with these things. That even when the tasks that we have to do are more than we can handle, God is still there helping us through it. If you're one who's a little bit too caught up in the news lately, go outside and take a walk. Even though it's chilly, it can still be worth it. Or do something that you enjoy, because that's why we're here, and it's what helps us find the perspective to tackle the things that we can do and to improve the things around us where we can make a true difference. All right, I hope you're doing well, church. I hope you're cleaning your desk. Did I mention that I cleaned it today? And I hope that you're enjoying our new sermon series, Restoring Faith. It's actually going really well to talk about what is best about the Christian faith, and what is and how we should live and how we should go about practicing. I hope you'll come this Sunday. It's going to be another good one, and I'm going to talk about some more John Wesley stuff and the general rules. If you've never heard them, it's really simple. Just 3 things that can make a big difference for all of us. In the meantime, I hope you're well, I hope you're peaceful, and I hope you're finding the kind of peace that Jesus talks about in that passage, because Lord knows we all need it. See you soon, church.